I'm here today to do the new to Booktube tag, as I am new to Booktube, so this is only really the time I can do it. I'm not sure where this was created actually. I think it's been around for quite a while and I've seen it on a few other booktubers channels, so I thought I would give it a go. The first question is, where are you from? A lot of you might have a rough idea from my accent that I'm from the northwest of England. I'm in a village that's sort of halfway between Liverpool and Manchester. How old am I? Well, if you look at my birth certificate, I'm 45, but I've decided to stay at 36. Why not? You know, who's to say what age you have to be? I feel 36, so I'm 36. Why did I join Booktube? Because I don't really have any friends who, it's not like I don't have any friends, I do have friends, but none who have the complete total book nerd thing that I've got, where they're obsessed with books and reading. I have friends who read, but it's not really to the same degree, so I don't really have an outlet to share my enthusiasm and my thoughts on books and to get recommendations of diverse different types of books to be read. And so that's why I've joined Booktube, because hopefully I can meet up with people who've got the same sorts of passions for reading that I've got, and swap book recommendations and find out about new books, and generally, you know, just gush over books and beautiful book covers and things like that. What is the meaning behind your channel name? You might have noticed I've got blonde hair. I hate to say I'm a stereotype, but I am quite a stereotypical dizzy blonde. I am really dizzy at times, so hence swirly girly, swirly dizzy, girly girl. So that's why I'm swirly girly, and swirly girly reads. Number 5, what kinds of books do you read or want to talk about on this channel? All of them. I will have a go at anything. I've recently just read my first graphic novel, which I enjoyed, so I'm going to have a go at some more of them, and that was just directly from recommendations that on Booktube, because it would never be something I would have considered before. Obviously, being slightly senior in years, graphic novels I've always perceived might be something that are geared up towards a male market or even like a young adult market. But I read one and I liked it, and I've bought some more, and so I'm going to give them a go. I really enjoyed them. I love reading the classics. I don't feel like I've read as many of them as I should have, so I'm trying to work my way through quite a big backlog of those. I love a bit of crime. I love historical novels. I love contemporary fiction. I love literary fiction. Sometimes the only thing is a bit of chick lit. I like a bit of dystopian. I'm open to everything. Recently this year I've read a couple of sci-fi books which I hadn't really read too many of, and enjoying them. I also quite like to read non-fiction, although I do need to increase that, and that's one of my reading resolutions for this year, is to read more non-fiction. But yeah, if it's a good book I'll give it a go. Who are your favourite authors? It's hard to narrow this down because there's a lot, but one in particular is, I do love the Bronte sisters, in particular Charlotte Bronte. This is a really, really old, battered, bit of a crappy copy of Jane Eyre, but Jane Eyre I do love. I also love Alexander McCall Smith. This is the first book in the 44 Scotland Street series. These are just such lovely reads. You get to love and know all the characters. They're fun. They just take you away, and Edinburgh is one of my favourite places in the whole world. And they're set in Edinburgh, and he's a very prolific writer. He has quite a few series on the go. I've only read the 44 Scotland Street one so far, but I have got number 1 Ladies Detective Agency on my shelves. You've got to love Jane Austen. I had read some Jane Austen as a teenager. I read Mansfield Park and Northanger Abbey. Had really no recollection of them other than I found them mature. but this year I've read all of her books apart from Emma, which is the next one I'm going to read, and I am absolutely in love. I love her books. I can't believe it took me so long, and these Penguin English Library editions are great. So I have Sense and Sensibility, Emma, which will be my next one, and Mansfield Park, if I can hold it right in the camera, and this is my copy of Pride and Prejudice. It's like, where has this been all my life? I've seen all the TV and film adaptations, but I know that it's always better in the book, and it was. I've also got Persuasion in another edition on my shelf. And another author, this is just sort of to show you a bit of variety of the different types of authors, is Margaret Atwood. I've only read 2 Margaret Atwoods. This is Alias Grace, which is and The Handmaid's Tale. I've got some more of hers on the shelf, and she blows me away. The woman is amazing. The next question is, what is the last book that you read? I finished yesterday Cress, which is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles. I started this in December, really was enjoying it, got halfway and then I just got a bit fed up with it. So I left it for a bit, but then started to pick it back up, and then it sucked me back in for the finale. So I've just got, I think there's one sort of novella and then the final book, Winter, to go in the series. But really clever imagining of different types of fairy tales and really enjoying them. What books are you currently reading? I'm actually reading 2 books at the minute. One is an audiobook, which is Brooklyn by Colm Tóibín, I think that's how you say his name. It's read by Neve Cusack, and it is heading for a 5-star read. It is amazing, and hopefully I'll have that finished by the end of the month, and that'll be in my wrap-up. I'm also reading on my Kindle the 3rd book in the Poldark series, which is Jeremy Poldark by Winston Graham. Again, so far I've read the first 2 last year and they were absolutely excellent. The BBC TV adaptation of those books was very true to the book and incredibly well done, and the books are great, just really good if you like historical fiction. Different period in history and time about, you know, Cornwall and the mining and all the things that went on down there. Yeah, really enjoyable, recommend them. The next question, number 9, is what do you use for bookmarks? I used to always use, you know, crappy bits of paper or the odd postcard, but I got to thinking beautiful books, and I love beautiful books, deserve beautiful bookmarks, so I've got quite a few. Now there is a few stuffed in books all over the house, but I have these 3 that I picked up from the Bronte Parsonage Museum, because that is not very far away from where I live and I love to go to Haworth, and they've got quotes on from the Bronte sisters on them, and the lovely like firm card. So, and they're all hand printed in Yorkshire, it says. So that's got Heathcliff on it. I am Heathcliff. And that's a Charlotte Bronte one. And then I've also got a metal bookmark that's got 50 of the books to read in a lifetime, which you'll never be able to see. And then I also have these sort of pretty ones with little, that's a Celtic one with a little tag. And I just sort of tend to go with whatever bookmark I think is most appropriate for the book at the time, and I love this one. My workout is reading in bed until my arms hurt. That's so me. A little one about book with the definition of the word book. That's a really pretty one about with birds on. This is one that I tend to like to use for historical fiction or non-fiction. It's like an old map, just because I'm a bit sad. Believe in yourself when I need a bit of inspiration. Carpe Diem, again for inspiration. Hopefully you've not all fallen asleep now. 50 Shades, because that's a bit fun. And then these ones are just ones that come with editions of the Happy Reader magazine. So that's some of my bookmarks. I'm always collecting them wherever I go. Show us your TBR pile. Yeah. And that's not all of it. There you go, you can see it. As you can see, my shelves are getting a bit overloaded. I really need to have a sort out of them. Can't decide whether I should just stick with ABC as I've got, but then have a bit of a clear out, or whether I should do, like they do in bookshops, a section for classics, ABC, section for crime, ABC, don't know. Huge job. I'm a terrible procrastinator, so as yet I just keep stuffing them on. There are books on there that I have read, but the majority are TBR. I have a problem. Hardcover or paperback? Hardcover books are beautiful and I do love them, and if it's a particularly special book, something that I really, you know, an author that I love, I will like the hardback book, but for ease of reading, a paperback book. E-books or physical books? I do read e-books, but they're just nothing compared to physical books. I love seeing, obviously, because I like my bookmarks, I like to see the progression through the book of your bookmark. I like looking at the cover, I like feeling the book, I like the smell of the book, I love the beautiful book cover design. The thing is about my Kindle, it's fantastic for when I'm travelling because I can take hundreds of books with me, and I am definitely much of a whim reader. Sometimes I just don't feel like a particular type of book, and then I've got so many to choose from on my Kindle. So it's great for that, but it will never ever replace physical books. I just have to have them. And then there's owning or borrowing books. Owning. These books have been read and I know they look brand new because I like to keep them nice and neat and tidy and beautiful and never crease the spine, and I don't like the idea of borrowing books or even lending books to people where they might crease them or damage them, or books that have been handled and not mistreated by other people, and then I've got to read them with tea stains on them and funny smells. So no, owning. I told you, I'm shallow. Number 12, what book or series got you into reading? Right, well, now I've told you how old I am, a lot of people on here will say Harry Potter. I'm only just discovering Harry Potter. I'm going way back to when I was probably about 5 or 6. And it was the Mr. Men books. I remember I used to get taken into town every week with my mum and I could buy a new Mr. Man book with my pocket money. So I used to love reading them, and then I loved Enid Blyton, so I didn't ever read the Famous Five, but it was always like The Faraway Tree, The Secret Seven, those kind of books. I loved Roald Dahl, those kind of things. So they were the things that got me into reading. And there wasn't as much sort of in the young adult genre then as there is now, but that's what started me off. And then a bit later on there was things like Judy Blume and Adrian Mole and stuff like that. How did you discover Booktube? I can't actually remember. It's only recent that I've discovered Booktube. It's only sort of towards the end of 2015 that I've discovered it. Just looking around for something, you know, just book related, because obviously I had this need to share the book love. And I actually found Jen Campbell's channel and just fell in love with Jen because she was just so wonderful, and she understood, and she just knew what it was like to have the book thing. And then from Jen I found more and more people, and it's nice to know you're not alone and there's not just you who's got the nerdy book thing in the world. And now I'm hooked on it. I love it. I subscribe to loads of people. 14. What challenges do you think you'll face with your own channel? Well, at the minute, I'm filming on my phone. And being maybe not brought up in the IT generation as some people, though I'm not too bad. I have managed to get videos up. I haven't learnt how to edit yet. So when I talked about my Kindle books, I know some people can put little pictures up. I haven't learnt that yet. You wouldn't think that my husband works in IT, but yeah, so it's just learning the technical skills, the editing, those kind of things that will be my biggest challenge, but I'm always up for learning new things. And the final question is, where else can we find you? I'll link my email and my Goodreads page on down below, and I think my son set me up an Instagram, and I have got a Twitter account, although I'm not brilliant at things like that. But Goodreads, quite a regular visitor to Goodreads. emails, those sorts of things, and just through YouTube. So this has been great sharing and introducing myself to you all. Please subscribe if you like what I do, if you want to join in the conversation with me, if you're a bit dizzy and mad about books too. Great to have a chat with you, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!